This video discusses 10 electric vehicle flaws you didn't know existed. Before watching, like and subscribe to our channel. EV urban myths are surprisingly persistent. EVs don't have the range, and they're as powerful and exhilarating as a golf buggy, yet some refuse to die. Number 10. Electric vehicles are dirty, producing as many carbon dioxide emissions as a petrol or diesel vehicle. EVs charged exclusively from the grid emit less greenhouse gas emissions almost everywhere in the world. EVs grow greener as the grid does. Some individuals mistakenly compare new car petrol/diesel windscreen stickers' CO2 emission values to EV electricity use emissions numbers. Windscreen stickers solely display fuel-burned emissions. They don't cover fuel extraction, refining, transport, and delivery emissions. EV emissions figures include greater downstream grid emissions, thus comparing EV to ICE isn't a real well-to-wheel comparison. Internal combustion engine. Number 9. The grid cannot support an increase in electric vehicle charging. EVs don't strain the grid. A 100% EV fleet would increase electricity usage by around 10%. Many supply authorities across the world say they are ready to accommodate EV demand as it rises and are planning system improvements and changes as needed. Global studies demonstrate that grids can handle more EVs. Since EVs won't take over overnight, local grid and management modifications can be made with appropriate planning before they're needed. This is especially true when EVs may be demand managed to charge at slower rates at off-peak hours. A full EV fleet would add 10% to global electricity demand, according to this scenario. EVs, or hydrogen vehicles, take 3 to 5 times as much electricity to make hydrogen, transfer it, and drive the car as a BEV to cover the same distance. A 100% hydrogen automobile economy would demand 3 to 5 times the electricity generation capacity of a BEV economy. EVs would strain existing electrical infrastructure and raise carbon emissions without a larger, totally renewable electricity grid. Number 8. EV batteries can't be recycled. EV batteries can be used multiple times before being discarded. 95 to 98% of recycled materials can be reused. EV batteries don't die at vehicle end of life. Best cells can be rebuilt as remanufactured automotive battery packs. Still good cells can be recycled into battery storage systems with 8 to 15 years of life. The newest advances in cell design and component separation allow at least 98% of a battery to be recycled. Number 7. EV batteries don't last. Fake. We're all used to short lithium battery life in our phones, so this is the hardest myth to overcome. EV batteries are better designed, use better charging systems, and have all parts of their charging and use constantly monitored and managed, including temperature management systems that can heat or cool the battery to keep it within its ideal temperature range. Tesla Model S and Model X batteries age slowly, according to studies. About 10% battery degeneration after 250,000 kilometers. Other research imply EV batteries will outlast cars. Number 6. EV batteries cost more than the car to replace. What appears pricey now will be cheaper in 10 years or more. EV battery guarantees are 8 years with at least 70% remaining. Before the guarantee expires, batteries that fall below this threshold are replaced. For batteries that lose enough range after the warranty expires, prices have decreased from over $1,100 per kilowatt-hour in 2011 to about $130 presently, and are still decreasing. By 2024, it'll be $100 and falling. In 2030, a new 64 kilowatt-hour battery for a Hyundai Kona, now around $30,000, may cost $10,000, with reconditioned batteries roughly half that. Number 5. EVs are made with polluting minerals mined by children. The EV-related mineral is Congolese cobalt. EV batteries are phasing out cobalt. EV makers are striving to get the remaining cobalt from mines with ethical labor standards and environmentally responsible extraction processes. Any product we buy must comply with environmental and labor standards. Always buy from good corporate citizens. Tesla, Volvo, and BMW have taken initiatives to get their manufacturing minerals, especially cobalt, only from mines that utilize ethical labor standards and environmentally appropriate extraction methods. Tesla, VW, and Renault are cooperating to secure end-of-life battery remanufacturing, reuse, and recycling. We must pressure all manufacturers and suppliers, not only EVs, to clean up their act. Number 4. There are not enough public charge points. EV charging isn't centralized. 80 to 90% of EV charging happens at the destination. We need public charging stations, but not as many as gas stations. Future EV charging needs don't require as many gas station-style public charging stations. On the other side, we already have a countrywide network of DC fast charging stations, with more to come. It's simple to travel in a pure electric automobile at the rate of a petrol/diesel one between major Australian eastern and south coast capitals, even as far as Port Douglas in Queensland, including many inland and regional places. Since charging is mostly done at the destination, locations one car charge beyond the present network are easily accessed. Tasmania now has enough DC charging sites to be 120 kilometers apart, with plans to reduce that to 60 to 80 kilometers in the near future, making it possible to drive anywhere with a pure electric car. As DC networks expand, Australia will see a recurrence. Number 3. BVs Cant Tow. BEVs are better tow vehicles than ICE automobiles. However, automakers are now rating more BEVs for towing. BEVs have better takeoff torque than ICEs. They're therefore good tow trucks. EV utes and SUVs will have class-leading tow ratings. BEV manufacturers have been unwilling or given poor towing ratings until now. Number 2. EVs catch fire a lot. ICE vehicles burn more often. They take longer to stop, giving passengers more time to flee. EV battery fires may require special extinguishers or lots of water. If you have an EV fire, keep bystanders upwind and wait for the fire. If you have an EV fire, keep bystanders upwind and wait for the fire truck. Number 1. Over the lifetime of an EV, manufacturing an electric car consumes more energy than internal combustion engine vehicles. Overall, the payback period for EV manufacture is 6 to 24 months of normal driving, depending on what level of fossil fuels are used to power the grid the EV charges from and how far it is driven. Payback period shortens as grid turns greener. EVs are already greener to drive, even when cradle-to-grave CO2e emissions are considered. In the U.S., 6 to 16 months of regular driving can offset an EV's manufacturing emissions, according to the Union of Concerned Scientists. International Council on Clean Transport gives Europe 2 years, ICCT. Like this video? Tell us in the comments. Subscribe if you wish to hear from us again.